the help of Mr. Daniel, Mr. Rob, Mr. Joe, Miss Pat, Miss Cassidy, everything came to, we were able to actually see a future in all our decisions that we made on a daily basis. Nothing seemed so hard, nothing seemed impossible. And if we ever needed counseling, we would never turn back. And I would like to say thank you to each one of y'all for that. Along the way, we were given a lot of advice. We were given a lot of corrective methods to whatever we were going through. They showed us that we are not the first one to experience what we are experiencing. Therefore, did I take it that we are frowned upon. And that was important. Being a part of City Square, personally, I say that I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about placing limitations on myself. I always thought that there was always a limit to everything that I could do. And with the help of our instructors, that limit don't exist anymore. My repertoire, or as they would say, my toolbox, has gotten pretty extensive at this point. I've gained a lot of certifications that has given me a lot of hope. I truly have. And in doing so, you know, my best friend through all that all was God. All right. God was my alarm clock every morning. Because a lot of times I couldn't make it without him. Truly, my God is awesome. All right. And, you know, my certifications, they range from electrical, welding, HAZWAP reporting, OSHA 10. You know, I'm untouchable at this point. Now, again, I'd like to thank each one of them. Daniel, you've been an inspiration, man. Miss Cassidy, you just don't know. Mr. Rob, man, every morning, man. And Miss Pat, girl, you are so controlling. How did I take all y'all?
But I almost didn't show up this morning. But Miss Pat and Daniel is the reason that I had to come, because I didn't want to disappoint them, because they have really been there for me throughout all of this. And I told her I was going to tear up. But I'm a mother going through a career change. And I never would have been able to do that without City Square. It's really expensive to go to school. I take classes that's supposed to give me all these degrees or whatever. But to really be able to have hands-on training and the support system that the CEF provides and City Square gives us is nothing like what you get going to a university. And I know all of us, all 20 of us, will take away from CEF more than something that we got out of the book. Mr. Gentry made sure of that. He talked to us every morning, you know, about things that are going on, you know, not just outside of doing well, but everyday life. Because, I mean, knowledge is one thing, but to be able to cope and to deal with everyday life is two totally different situations. And we got that here at CEF. And just like Kenneth said, Miss Cassidy, Daniel, Miss Pat, Dana, even Mr. Boots. They were all our support. And even within our class, I have made 19 new friends that I never would have made without going to City Square. Square, and I just feel like being in this program, we learn how to be a family. Everybody in this program is here for one reason or another. It's about all of us have something that was different going on, why we at this point, whatever it may be. But in the end, we were one big family, and we worked through this together. It was not easy for anyone. I was late a lot, but they worked with me, and they helped, and that made a difference. And I know going forward, with everything we got in this envelope and the individual knowledge that we got one-on-one, that we will be a success. Everything happens.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker today. Mr. Mark Rutledge is the co-founder, owner, partner of Momentum Mechanical. Mark oversees the entire operation with a hands-on emphasis on competitiveness, project performance, and quality. He constantly strives to build strong, lasting relationships with his client base. Using his many years of marketing experience, he is always developing new opportunities. Mark received a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from Prairie View A&M University. He is a registered professional engineer in the state of Texas and holds an air conditioner and refrigeration contractor's license in the state of Texas. In 1987, he joined TD Industries, advancing from a project coordinator to senior project manager, responsible for projects well over several millions of dollars. Mark began Momentum Mechanical in 2005. Mark served on the board of directors for the Construction Education Foundation, which is CEF, and was chairman in 2013. He is involved with many social and industry-related boards and organizations such as Texaco, Dallas Public Schools, Career Advisory Council, and the Jerry Junkins Minority Scholarship Committee. As you see below, he has worked on several projects as Parkland, the HTPN Family Medicine, Baylor Grapevine, Baylor Garland, and also Baylor Trury Building, Juanita Craft, AT&T, Lockwood Library, plethora of other projects he's worked on. Let's give a standing ovation for our keynote speaker.
Thanks. I don't know if the mic is hot or I just need to speak up a little more, but can everyone hear me? Okay. Building for success graduate, my heart swells for what you become. I come from a line of educators, so I know how important education is. So I'll be touching on that. But first of all, before I get started, I would like to put a special thanks out for Daniel as he welcomed me in. As soon as I hit the door, I got this big, warm smile from Daniel saying, welcome. That was really pleasing. And the person I would like to say also, Daniel, for keeping me at ease. No one can just keep a person at ease like that. It's really awesome. So, 20 for 20. That's what I want you guys to be doing. 20 for 20. That's solid. Just think about that. And made a commitment, you persevered, you pushed through. That's a heck of a thing. That's a heck of a thing. One of the things that I want to start out, I want everyone to know the reason why I wanted to speak today is because I come from a line of educators. A lot of people may look at me going, where's Glenn? When I first came to this building, the first person other than Daniel before he greeted me was Glenn. He looked at me and says, hey, you play basketball? But then he said it in such a forceful way, I thought he wanted me to go to my trunk and get my ball and we could have a game. I don't know. But Glenn, I'm going to take you up on that offer. I'm going to have this whole presentation. seeing 52 beat 32. No, but one of the things, I came from a line of educators because in 1931, my grandfather was class president at Prairie View School I went to. And back in those days, when you went to school, it seemed like everyone was dedicated to a mission. They had something to accomplish. And I don't know if we still hold those values now. We go to school, we go to class and just kind of get a grade. But back there, it was a mentality that I have to get this knowledge in order for me to be effective in society. To be effective. We want the grade now, but then I got to make it happen. So hopefully this is what's resonating now. So that was my grandfather. And he had a heck of a support person in my grandmother. She was an educator also to help push him up. And then my dad and my mom. My dad was a military man, but he was also an educator, math teacher. He was a military man. Strong. Mother was my 10th grade English teacher, so I kind of speak and don't slip too many verbs. She's always rolling back in my mind. I better act right, I better talk right. So my mom was always that person who always kept me straight. And then me, when I first started, a lot of people may think that I always was this engineer. When I first started out, I was a school teacher. It was in my blood because of the history. So education is important to me, and I just want to lay the groundwork for that. But here's the deal. I'm going to talk about the plan, because we all have to have a plan. You've achieved a step in your plan, but you have to have your mind almost in this movie type setting where you see yourself being born and almost going to the end of your life. You have to see it, because my mind sees almost exactly where I want to go. Will I hit every turn? May not, but my mind constantly, and I tell people all the time, my mind is steady racing. My mind is steady racing. Not on negative things, but where I want to go. So I'm going to tell you about my plan and how it works and how I've seen it and how it affects me to this day. When I first got out of Prairie View, I was this basketball player. Engineer basketball, I was this basketball player. So I had a chance to go to Europe and play. Now, how long do basketball players get to play the game? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 15. But do they get to play forever? No, they don't. So I'm a guy that kind of knows something like that. I said, you know what, I'm not going to do this forever. As a matter of fact, when I went over to Europe, and I played in Dublin, Ireland, and a whiskey company paid me. If anyone wants to drink, I'm not a drinker. I wish it was. Seems like a lot of people have fun when they drink. I don't know. No, but a whiskey company paid me. And the thing about that experience over there, you constantly have to say, my career is not going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. So you make hay while you can. And guess how many years I played in Ireland? I played 1 season. I made big money. I made $32,000. Now, a lot of people think it's $1 million, $500,000. I made $32,000. But that was all right money for me because they provided me a house, provided me a car. But $32,000 to have that experience. Loved it. Took advantage of everything. Formed valuable relationships. We got to tour Ireland, Dublin, up and down throughout. So that was valuable. So I came back over here and I tried to get with the Dallas Mavericks. Man, I said, this is going to be awesome, man. So one of the things they did, I wasn't drafted, they said, go out to Larry Krager's basketball camp when I was out in California. I ran up and down the court there. Didn't want to go back to Ireland because I wanted to make a little more money. At least I wanted to make $33,000.